I'm Robert Cossey. I'm the publisher of Canadian Contractor, and I am here with Steve Barkhouse, and he is the owner of Amstead Design Build, and you are in Ottawa, I believe.
We certainly are.
That's your market?
Greater Ottawa. That's us.
Greater Ottawa.
Great. Oh, yeah, we're moving up in the world.
Are you?
Yeah.
You've moved out of Lesser Ottawa. You're into Greater Ottawa. Beautiful.
It's all great.
It's probably a good move. There's probably more money in Greater Ottawa.
There is, actually.
Yeah. How did you get into the business?
Grandfathers were both carpenter type handymen. My dad and my uncle were both in construction and drywall to begin with, and then moved into management. So always in my blood, you know, riding up those elevators on the outside of high-rise buildings.
Oh, really?
10 or 12 with my dad, and the smell of the concrete and the wood. So yeah, it's in the blood for sure. But went to university, graduated in the wonderful beginning of the recession in 1989. I aged myself.
I remember that. I was framing at the time.
Is that right?
Oh, we got hit hard.
Yeah.
I was making like $7 an hour framing after the recession because that was the only work I could find.
I could use a few guys like you right now.
Yeah, you're not getting me for $7 an hour right now, buddy. No chance. So yeah. But what made you decide to step in and say, "Hey, I'm going to run my own business"?
Necessity, really. I had hoped to go and work for someone else. I think I would have been a great employee for somebody. Had some good interviews around Christmas in '89. I graduated in the spring, in '88, I guess, and graduated in the spring. Mm-hmm. Thought I was going to get hired on, and then everyone said, "Look, we're sorry, but we're not hiring." And my dad was kind enough to point out that I can't come home without a job. So he kind of pushed me out to say, look, why don't you start it on your own, try it on your own, and we'll see what happens. And I worked as a carpenter all through high school and university, and so I had a little nest egg and bought myself a really cool sports car, which I believe is why my wife
that was your first
married
truck?
me.
That was your first truck?
Well,
yeah.
I came home with the sports car. My dad's like, look, you're getting into construction. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you your mom's old beat-up half-ton, and we'll give your sports car to your mother, and now you can go to job sites.
But the sports car got you the girl.
Exactly.
Very nice. So you got the beat-up pickup truck for the business and the sports car for the girl. Hey, you got set up right.
That's right.
Sounds good. Well, so now when did you realize that this was for you? Like you were really going to take hold of this?
Yeah. Gosh, I would say probably when I was 4 and never. So I always thought it's what I wanted to do since I was a kid.
Run your own business though. That's a big difference.
I think I always thought that too, to be honest, when you're young. But and right now I'm wondering, well, why am I doing it? Wouldn't it be easier to work for someone else? So I don't know that you ever really know. But I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and that sort of takes you in that direction.
Yeah, fair enough. Listen, I know a little bit about your business. I know that one of the things that you do in your marketing is that you have established what you call living rooms around Ottawa. Tell me a little about what a living room is, and I think more importantly, how you make the business case for it, because I think you've done it in an interesting way.
Yeah, maybe a step back. About 15 years ago, we opened up a big box with our old one-stop shop. People come in, we had vignettes of bathrooms and kitchens and such, a significant square footage, and we did that, and it kind of worked about 15 years ago. That was a popular start to the big box concept. And we've just found that our clients, as time changes, are more looking for personalized service, if you will. Mm-hmm. And the big box is not that. So we separated ourselves from that probably about 7 or 8 years ago and started the living room concept. And of course, rooms made for living is the tagline. But we're in each of the neighborhoods that we do most of our work in. So we've got 4 main offices, 3 living rooms and a main office. So we cover sort of the 4 key areas of where we do most of our work.
How did you decide where to park these living rooms? How did you are they rentals in an office in a mall or something? Tell me a little bit about what they are.
Yeah, so they're in our target markets. So we have key target markets in Ottawa, and they're directly in those target markets. So a high-profile location, residential building, so home.
But it's on a commercial street, though.
Yeah. So, which you think might be hard to find, but Ottawa, I'm sure, like every city, is transforming. So they're trying to intensify. So you're going to find these main arteries that had residential houses on them, but they're getting busy. So people don't want to live right on the main artery, but it's great for us.
Right.
So high profile,
Right.
but we're right in the neighborhood. So we're participating in the neighborhood activities. We're doing open houses and we're doing seminars from our shop, and people see it happening. So they see us renovate. And now we did a different architectural style at each one.
Okay.
So that anybody that's looking maybe for contemporary, they might go to the living room number 2. If they're looking for something a little more transitional.
I see.
So it's basically a model home for our renovation business, which
Beautiful.
is unique.
And you own the buildings.
We own the buildings.
You collect rent from the top floor and the basement or whatever.
We do residential, yes, renting. So we have tenants, 2 tenants plus ourselves in each building. So that's kind
So
of
it's a great little business. I mean, it's a property management business at some point. I mean,
Sure it is. Yeah, and it's security for the ups and downs in the economy. And,
Sure.
you know, real estate's been the best investment for the last 25 years. So it's just, it gives us that security. And quite frankly, it shows the neighborhood and our staff that we're stable, right? We've got something with our name on it. We've got a couple of locations. It just gives them a sense of both pride, but also stability.
yeah. All right, so, all right, you're of a certain age.
I am of a certain age. Yes.
But there was at one point you really thought about whether or not you wanted to set up the business in order to sell it or to close it down, presumably, and you decided you wanted to set it up to sell it. But that's changed now, or has it? Well, tell me a little bit about that process when you were preparing for retirement, which I'm sure will never happen.
No.
But what was some of the thinking that you put behind the idea of preparing for that moment?
Sure. I think certainly in industry, in our industry, there was a push toward building your business to sell.
Right.
There's lots of books on that, built to sell. So I don't know that it was a conscious decision that my partner and I made, but more just the environment that we were in that we thought, okay, that's what we have to do. So we started to look at that. And as we went through the checklist and modified our company to be built to sell, we realized that we got a pretty good thing going. The steps that we had to take to build it to sell, quite frankly, made it that it would run on its own without you, so that someone could buy it and not have you.
Well, which is so interesting. I mean, I thought it was so interesting when I heard, because you are literally doing the thing. You essentially could sell it to yourself for free if you were really thinking about selling. Right?
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to be inside the business to do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And what I liked about the concept of build to sell is that you're relying on your team. So you're building a team, a leadership team and a full team. And we've felt that way from the beginning. We've always hired to cover our weaknesses. And thankfully, I have a lot of weaknesses.
No, good.
So we're able to hire
employees.
some great people to offset that. And really, they're super strong. And they're super strong in their individual areas, much stronger than I could ever be. And we've allowed them to focus on those strengths and support them where they may have needed support. So it really went with our philosophy of business. And right now, will I retire? What does retirement look like? Will I slow down? Absolutely. Will they take me out in a pine box? Probably. I love what I do. I love coming to work every day.
Mahogany. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of oak.
Yeah, a little carving.
Nice finish. Yeah, little carving.
You know what? That may be my retirement project.
Oh, carve your own coffin. Very exciting. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
It's going to be heavy.
Is it?
I want people to struggle lifting that
You're gonna
up.
be-
No, I helped that cause a little bit, but you never know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be heavy enough.
Easy.
One more thing. You also have a disaster relief company. Is that what they call it?
It's not called that, but I think we may change the name to that. It sounds
Disaster
much more catchy.
relief?
Yeah, it sounds
relief is
professional.
always a good thing.
It is really, yeah.
No, but that kind of runs parallel, or you don't?
Yeah. In '92, we were struggling in the recession, so we looked for diversification.
It was a double down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We weren't losing enough money here. We needed to find a new way to
Another
lose
way
money.
to lose money. I can see that.
So we looked for something to diversify in, and we found in our studies that, interestingly enough, and it's a bit of a poor statement on society, but when the economy is bad, people make a lot more insurance claims. When the economy is strong, they don't. So when the economy is strong, Amstead's fine. When the economy is bad, Amstead's struggling, but insurance restoration was the place to be. So we opened up Restore All, which has now become province-wide in Promise Ontario. We're Promise Ottawa.
Wow.
It's a cooperative of I think 15 other companies.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're proud of that. But yeah, insurance restoration is exactly what they do. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I love I didn't realize that the diversification was an effort to flatten out the top line, as it were.
Yes, yeah. And it's funny, you don't think of those things when you're riding high on one side. You think of it when you're at the bottom and what are we going to do to survive? And we kind of fell into it a little bit. We started doing insurance restoration work through Amstead and thought, wow, this is a good game.
Give me the couple of things that you might want to say to somebody who's just starting out now. They just hung their shingle up. They're still driving around in a pickup truck by themselves and wondering what the hell they got into. What's key takeaways here?
For someone to look to me for advice is a little humbling in that I was that guy, and not that long ago, and quite frankly still am deep down. It's a roller coaster ride. There's ups and downs all the way along. I guess really, if you're getting into the business, you've probably gotten into it because you're an entrepreneur. And there's no taking that out of you. And don't try. That's what's going to make you successful. That's what's going to get you through the ups and downs. But you're going to want to learn the industry, because that's what entrepreneurs want to do. They want to understand the industry. They want to get it and dig deep. And this is a great industry to get involved in. It pays back. There's so much you can do to touch on all of the aspects of your life in our industry. I think that entrepreneurs, when they fail, because we all fail, can look at it as lessons learned and can move forward through it. When the tough times come, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and they get their heads down and they can see past that. And I tell you, we've been in some deep holes. We've made pretty much every mistake there is to make out there, and we've come through the other side. I guess that would be my one lesson learned that I didn't do. Although I've had the benefit of having family in the business and people that I respect in the business and have gone to with questions and advice, I didn't really have a mentor. And I would suggest that if you can reach out there and find yourself a mentor, someone that is where you want to be, but more importantly is who you want to be, or have a lot of the attributes that you're looking to possess, I would say reach out to them and befriend them. And I think you'll find that they'll openly share, because that's what our industry is all about.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Good to see you again.